There's something magnetic about a story that shatters the rules before the world even knows the rules exist. There is something electric about watching someone rewrite their destiny before they're even tall enough to ride the roller coaster. And that's where this story begins. With a girl named Hanalei Swan, an 8-year-old girl, a spark in human form. Most people grow up waiting for the world to tell them what they can be. Hanalei grew up asking a different question: what can I become right now? Her story doesn't begin with millions in trust funds or parents who paved a silver road for her success. It begins with something far less glamorous but far more powerful: uncertainty. She was born in the United States to parents who were once high-flying entrepreneurs. On the surface, everything looked perfect: the million-dollar mansion, the lifestyle, the comfort. But like many stories behind closed doors, the foundation wasn't as solid as it seemed. They went broke. Hard. They sank into debt. They watched a life they once held together crumble in their hands. And instead of trying to claw back to the illusion they lost, they did something radical. They sold everything. Paid the debts, packed the bags, and left. Imagine that for a second. Imagine losing the world you built, and instead of mourning it, deciding to build a new one from scratch. Not in the same town, not in the same country, not even on the same continent. Letting go isn't something most adults can do at 40. Hanalei watched her parents do it before she even learned long division. And what did that teach her? That life isn't about holding on to what's safe. It's about creating something meaningful, even when the world gives you nothing but the unknown. In her first 11 years, she traveled to 48 countries. She lived from backpacks, not bank accounts. She saw cultures, people, and lifestyles that most of us only see on travel documentaries. While other kids were worrying about school projects, she was learning how the world actually works. While most children her age were memorizing facts for exams, she was watching her parents earn income from the road using a laptop and creativity. Exposure creates expansion. And expansion creates vision. That exposure shaped her more than any classroom ever could. And then, one simple question, asked at the right moment, changed everything. Not, what do you want to be when you grow up? But what do you want to become now? Now, not someday, not later, not after a degree and a job, and the long, slow march toward adulthood. And at just 8 years old, Hanalei had her answer. She wanted to be a fashion designer, not dream about it, not plan for it. Become it. So she did what real entrepreneurs do. She started with what she had, borrowed $20 from her parents, bought materials, made keychains, sold them at an event. Not because she wanted pocket money, but because she wanted to turn an idea into something real. And that $20 became the seed of an empire. We talk a lot on the Legacy Code about this invisible line between people who dream and people who act. Most folks spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect skill set, the perfect confidence, the perfect conditions. But the perfect moment is never coming. 7-year-old Hanalei didn't wait for perfection. She moved with what she had, right where she was, with a belief far bigger than her stature. And that belief changed her life. Some businesses are built from investment capital, detailed plans, and boardroom meetings. Others are built from very little. Hanalei's began with determination and a spark of desire. That $20 experiment didn't just make her a bit of money. It awakened something in her, the realization that ideas become powerful when you put action behind them. Her small handmade keychains started attracting attention. People liked the craftsmanship, they liked the story, they liked the passion in her eyes. And her parents, who knew the struggles of losing everything and rebuilding from zero, encouraged her to expand. This is a key point. Belief multiplies when someone mirrors it back to you. Once she believed in herself, the world started believing in her too. Little by little, she created new products. Clothing, designs, accessories. Things that carried her signature mix of creativity and purpose. She didn't want to create fashion for vanity. She wanted to create fashion with meaning. Fashion that didn't destroy the planet. Fashion that supported artisans, not exploited them. And in Bali, her new home, she found exactly that. She worked closely with local artisans and builders. She studied design. She watched how textiles were made. She learned where materials came from. She understood the difference between fast fashion and ethical fashion, between mass production and craftsmanship. And her brand started to grow, really grow. Sales increased. Collections sold out at fashion shows. Her message attracted attention. Her design spoke louder than her age. It wasn't long before she became known as a young entrepreneur with a mission, not a gimmick. Then came the moment that would put her name on the map. A platform that has changed countless businesses. A stage that can turn small brands into household names. A pressure cooker where confidence, vision, and business sense are tested in real time. She walked into the Shark Tank. Imagine that. 11 years old, pitching your business in one of the most intimidating business arenas in the world. But here's the thing about confidence. When it's real, it's unmistakable. She wasn't nervous. She was prepared. She wasn't intimidated. She was focused. She didn't shrink. She stood tall. She explained her business model, her mission, her values, her eco-friendly approach, her global team of artisans, her vision of ethical fashion. And the sharks listened. Then came the offer. An investor offered her $30 million for a 70% stake in her company. $30 million. Think about what you would have done with that at 11 years old. Most adults would have said yes before the investor even finished the sentence. But Hanalei said no, not because she didn't like money, not because she didn't understand the offer, but because she understood something far deeper. Ownership matters. Vision matters. Legacy matters. If she sold 70% of her business, she would be selling the mission, not just the brand. She didn't start her company to become rich. She started it to make a difference, to show other kids that you don't need permission to create something meaningful, to show the world that ethical fashion could be profitable, to support communities around the globe, to build something bigger than herself, and that's why turning down the deal became one of the most powerful decisions of her young life. You see, most people think success is all about money. But real success, real legacy, it's about alignment. When your purpose and your path match perfectly, you don't sell the mission for a quick payday. You hold the line, you stay true, you build with intention. And that's exactly what she did. Her six-figure business expanded even further. Her team grew, her influence grew. Her message reached young entrepreneurs everywhere. She became a speaker, a role model, a symbol of what's possible when you stop waiting to grow up before you grow into yourself. And all of it, every step, began with that small spark at 8 years old. It's tempting to look at a story like this and say, well, she's special. She's the exception. But that's not the point. The point is that greatness often hides in places we overlook, in choices we avoid, in the moments we give ourselves permission to act. Hanalei's story doesn't ask you to become a fashion designer, it asks something deeper. It asks whether you're willing to become the version of yourself you keep postponing. Because here's the truth. The same truth. The legacy code has been whispering through every story we tell. You're not finished. Not even close. People change their lives at 60, 70, 80, or 90. They build new stories long after the world assumes their story is over. But the inverse is also true. You don't have to wait until later to start. You can build something extraordinary right now, at any age. Hanalei shows us what happens when you shift one simple belief. Not who will I become someday, but who can I become right now? Most people underestimate the power of this shift. They think they need the perfect timing, the perfect confidence, the perfect blueprint. But confidence doesn't appear first. Action does. Confidence is earned, not discovered. Look at the pattern. She said yes to a vision. She took action before she felt ready. She learned along the way. She stayed aligned with her mission. She refused to sell out her purpose. She built a legacy before she even turned 12. Her story is a reminder that legacy isn't age-dependent, it's decision-dependent. The world we live in tells people to wait. Wait for adulthood. Wait for permission. Wait for experience. Wait to be taken seriously. Wait until you feel ready. But waiting is how dreams evaporate. Forward motion is how dreams materialize. And here's the part I love most about Hanalei's story. She proves that once you believe in yourself, others often begin to believe in you too. Because confidence is contagious, purpose is magnetic, vision creates gravity. People follow those who can see the future, not those who fear it. There's a lesson in her parents' journey too. They lost everything, yet they created the environment that allowed her to become who she is. They showed her resilience by living it. Reinvention isn't a theory in her family, it's a lifestyle, and that's the deeper message running beneath the surface of her story. You can lose the house and still find your purpose. You can lose the money and still find your mission. You can lose what you once built and still build something far greater. The world measures success by what you own. Legacy measures it by what you create. Hanalei created a message, a mission, and a movement before she learned algebra, not because she was lucky, but because she learned early that your thoughts shape your reality, your confidence shapes your path, and your actions shape your destiny. And that's the heartbeat of the legacy code. You become unstoppable when you decide you're unfinished. If this video resonated with you, give it a like and subscribe so we can continue this journey together. Leave a comment below, let me know how you've changed your life in the face of adversity.